Hello everybody! Today I would like to share with you the state of my 93-94 Old School Magic collection. In 2020 I have made a lot of different acquisitions and I've been working on completing this collection. Currently I only lack 24 unique cards to say that I have 100% of every single 93-94 legal Magic card, and I was even going for some very obscure cards, for some reserved list things that are not really playable but a lot of fun. Now you may have seen my previous video that I posted last year, but this year I have got a better top-down perspective for you, and I'm not going to ramble about every card. I'm just going to let you enjoy these cards, and if you want to, of course, you can pause and take a closer look at them. I think that the bitrate and the resolution of this video are high enough for you to see, and obviously I will be talking about these cards. I will be using them in my brews because I'm mostly a player, not really a collector of Magic, but collecting 93-94 is a pleasure, so that's why I decided to go for it. And you know how it usually starts. At first you only want to get the playable cards, then you think of getting some cheaper non-playable cards, maybe because you like the art, and then you know you get obsessed, you become a completionist. And I still decided to draw the line. I'm not going to get, let's say, Tabernacle or the Abyss or some other cards that have got nice effects but way too pricey for me. So for most of these cards I have got a playset. Some of the reserved list cards I only have one copy of, some of them I have a couple of copies of, but it is safe to say that for many of these cards I have got a playset. This means that I have got around 3,000 cards, more than 3,000 I would say, especially because I have got for some cards 2 or maybe even 3 playsets. And the reason for that is that I was upgrading these cards. And it's interesting that when we say upgrading, we're actually talking about what would be considered downgrading, because we're talking about reverting to the original version. So Alpha, which is the oldest one, would be the ultimate upgrade for me personally. And I did purchase some Alpha cards. So as you can see, some of these cards are Italian Legends and Italian the Dark, and we have got some proper Arabian Nights Antiquities and English Legends cards, and we also have got some beta. We have got some unlimited, not so much, but many commons, uncommons and rares are revised. Sometimes I had to go for the 4th edition as well. So there are different editions, different sets, but obviously they're all legal under Eternal Central and Atlantic rules, and some European, definitely not Swedish, of course, rules. And one of the recent additions is the anti-cards that I also wanted to get, again, just being a completionist of some level here. So as you see, we had white, green and blue cards, and we also have anti-cards in this particular binder, and we have got basic lands and some old school tokens. This is not a complete set of tokens. I'm going to print some more because I acquired, let's say, Hazazon Tamar, and also I don't have the good tokens for Rukag, so I should print some more tokens, and I will share my collection with you when I do that. So this was the first binder. Obviously, again, we're going to talk about all of these cards. We have got series things you might not have noticed before, and there's some interesting ideas about that. We have got some card discussions, we have got some discussion of art, flavor, naming of cards, and a lot of different things. So this album, yeah, I would rather show you red and black and then proceed to colorless. So this is actually a new binder. If you saw my previous video, you saw that I was placing my collection into 2 binders, but now I've got this nice and new binder. So here we have got 2 more colors, which is red and black. So here is the red part of it, and this might be a little bit too much. I mean, I may have squeezed too many cards into this binder, but as far as I can see from another binder, which is the same Ultra Pro binder, as they call it, side-loading one, I had some of my valuable stuff in there, and for more than a year nothing really happened to it. So I would even say 2 years. I've been playing old school Magic for 3 years already, and you know, can you believe it? I actually started to get nostalgia about being nostalgic and playing old school Magic. My very first deck was Merfolk, and when I assembled that deck I was still playing Modern. I was playing what we call kitchen table Magic, and I started getting into this format, playing on Skype and exploring the glorious old school Magic community. And then I decided that there is no way back. I mean, I must get back to the roots of old school, and there is no way that I'm getting back to formats like Modern, Legacy and such. So I lost a lot of my cards. I traded them. I mean, I didn't lose them, I sold them. So that is what happened. So here we have got the last one. This video may be a little bit too quick, but then again, if you want, you can pause the video. And we have got another one when I'm talking about the process of acquisition of these cards may be too much. So this is just an update. I mean, of course, we should never say never, because this year I acquired some marvelous cards, some cards that I wanted to have, and I always almost gave up on acquiring them, but still proceeded. So this might be the most beautiful, maybe the second most beautiful page of my binder, because we've got Library of Alexandria that I recently acquired, and we've got the 10 duels. Not all of these duels I have in a playset. For some of this, like Volcanic, Tropical and Underground Sea and Bayou, I have got only 4. Only 2 copies, not 4. For the others I have got 4 copies. So this was definitely a really nice and beautiful page. I also finally have all the legends, even the most expensive ones. And when I say expensive, I'm talking about Angus Mackenzie, and also about Hazes Tamar. Some other you may have seen. I even talked about a deck of red, black and blue legends, and I had an amazing experience of playing this deck at a local tournament. So I would say that this is the most beautiful page, because obviously it contains 6 pieces of power. The Moxen, I will not forget the amazing feeling that I got when I acquired Mox Sapphire. This was the first piece of power for me. Ancestral Recall and Mox Sapphire for my blue deck. And now I have finally got Black Lotus itself, which feels amazing. And I thought that, you know, it's still just a piece of cardboard. I will not be happy as soon as I get it, but you know, every time I play it, even every time I see it, I'm still thrilled to do that. Of course it will pass real soon, but I still have this marvelous feeling. And again, as you can see, I wanted to say that I categorize these cards by mana cost. And obviously it's difficult to see now because I'm talking about artifacts, but if we get back to colored cards for a second, I wanted to show that my idea was getting from smaller mana cost to bigger mana cost, and from splashable to non-splashable. So This means that first we've got cards that cost, let's say, 1 colorless and 1 red, and then we'll have those that cost 2 red, and for, let's say, 3 mana we will have 2 and colorless, then we'll have 1 colorless, and the least splashable will be obviously the card that costs 3 red mana. So this was my rationale. It does work. I tried alphabetizing these cards, but this didn't really work, again because when you are inserting maybe some new cards, you have to reorganize the whole binder, and this binder, for example, as you can see, doesn't have detachable pages, so it's, you know, really hard to do that. And when I want to brew or maybe talk about some particular card, I take out these cards and I don't remember where exactly they were if I alphabetize them. So it might be a good idea, you know, if you're just a collector, but if you brew a lot, if you take these cards out and put them back into the binder, I think this is optimal because I can still find these cards, and there will be no duplicate. So for instance, there will be no 2 slots with the same card on different pages like I sometimes had. So right now I think it's the optimal way to do that. So again, you see, I'm not talking about the newer acquisitions, but you can see some glorious cards, some cards that recently spikes as well. I was lucky to get them prior to the huge and dramatic price increase, and I finally have the small stuff. You may have seen my mail day videos, and I wanted to show that. Oh wow. Yeah, I actually have 2 amulets of forethought, something I didn't notice. You know, you think that it's perfect and then still some small mistake occurs, but then again, not really difficult to reorganize. Yeah, so unfortunately sometimes I got some extra copies of cards, not planning on selling them, but it's not that I'm going to use Amulet of Forethought anyway, so that's how it works. Yeah, so one of the most recent cards that I acquired was Green Mana Battery, because, you know, it doesn't make sense that I acquired 4 different mana batteries but forgot about the green one. And actually green one was probably my favorite card in terms of the art. So yeah, I don't know why it happened, but you know, if you don't have an inventory, if you don't keep track of your cards in some kind of file, it's very difficult to remember what you actually have. So there it is. This is my whole collection, and doesn't seem that big if I just turn over these pages so quick, but you know, I feel really happy about having this collection. I feel somewhat proud of having accomplished that, because even though of course you can just say that today you just go to a store, order all of these cards, this is not really so. It's not really so anymore, especially with some reserved list stuff. You know, you have to shop around, you have to wait for some bargains, you have to try and see what conditions are optimal, and where you can get cards in decent condition with not exorbitant prices. So especially today. So anyway, there it is. This is my whole collection currently, and it may be expanded, but not in the nearest future. But now please look forward to videos with more brews, with more card discussions. We certainly have got a lot to discuss. So there it is. This is my whole collection, and there will be some updates maybe next year, but for now it is what it is. Thank you for watching. I will see you soon. Bye.